Marketing is a powerful and influential utensil that through the media is used to promote and sell products and services. Marketing is for the most part dismissed as harmless and is not given much thought. We feel as if it doesn't have any effect on us. But what we fail to comprehend is that marketing does not impact our conscious part of our brain. It impacts our subconsciousness. When our subconsciousness is constantly exposed to these ideas and concepts of what beauty, success, and happiness is, it starts to make patterns and accepts it to be real. These ads that may just seem like they're only vying for the money in your wallet are in actuality making you believe in a sick and twisted version of reality. What's even more horrifying is that we don't know that we're being impacted by these advertisements. We don't know that we're being brainwashed to believe in something that is merely a social construction. A social construction that makes the majority of us unhappy, yet we agree to it anyways.
Based on absolute flawlessness. She never has any lines or wrinkles. She certainly has no scars or blemishes. Indeed, she has no pores. And the most important aspect of this flawlessness is that it cannot be achieved. No one looks like this, including her. And this is
the brand Lexus. In this ad, they're saying that their cars are so advanced as they can go around curves easily. They incorporate the curvy toy Praver, a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, by making her body into a real-life racetrack, to show how easily Lexus can maneuver around her gorgeous, curvy body. Though it was not in their intention, but they have made this woman into an object, and as it is clear, when you take the humanity away from anyone, violence and abuse towards them become more easier. Though the consequences of this objectification are appalling, what this ad has done to this woman's body is not something considered out of our societal norm. Just like in most ads, this ad has also depicted women as sexual objects of desire. She's modeled in an angle where all her curves can be presented in an appealing manner for the male viewers. Around her you can observe two cars racing, both of which will have male drivers, leaving the audience with a clear yet an unintended message that this woman is being used for the pleasure of the two males. This ad has used a model most people would consider beautiful, but what has led us to think that way? What factors have impacted this decision? Is this because of how media has always portrayed beauty as skinny, clear skin, tall, curvy, cheekbones, full lips, and etc.? Even if media does illustrate women as this, what harm can it do? Well, for starters, girls are continuously bombarded with images of models who all adorn these similar characteristics. And when girls are told from every source of media that this is what they must look like to even be thought as beautiful, eventually, if they hear it enough, they begin to believe it.
Tremendously was with the African Americans in the States, where for so long they were told they were not intelligent, they weren't able to learn, they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that, and many of them bought it because they heard it so often. And that's what I was saying earlier. If somebody says something about you, even if part of you knows better, after a while you begin to buy it if that keeps coming at you. You can take that over to the body image as well. If our whole society is saying we ought to look like fashion models, and if everybody's telling us that, then some of us are going to feel pretty bad. Because a fashion model I'm never going to be.
These simple and hidden messages can have a deadly effect on women's overall quality of life. Women are repetitively given subtle hints that to be successful, they must conform to the media's image of the perfect woman. When these average girls are not able to meet these high expectations of society and are not able to achieve the desired body image, they start to fall into a state of depression. They begin to have lower self-esteem and start being obsessed with their outer image, which can then lead to anorexia and eating disorders. Due to all this, they start to focus less on other aspects of their lives, such as school, jobs, relationships, and ambitions, resulting in an overall lower quality of life. Marketing and media has quietly overtaken a very important aspect of our lives, which is identity. It used to be that we discovered our own identity, but now, due to the overwhelming amount of media consumption that is in our lives, our identities are vastly influenced through the media and marketing. We can now identify ourselves through what we consume, what we watch on TV, and how we act on social networking sites. In this new era of technology, our identities are practically revolve around our media consumption. Girls' quality of life is not the only thing that is affected through marketing. Their identities are also somewhat shaped through these advertisements. In most advertisements, girls are shown as objects of pleasure for men, or objects of sexual desire. Due to this constant exposure to these messages from the media, some men start to identify women as objects. This fact itself is bad enough, but what now is being proven is that if girls are shown enough of these advertisements, they may start to identify themselves as less of human and more as sexual objects for male pleasure. With this self-objectification, psychologists have noticed an increase of eating disorders, lower self-esteem, and depression. Media is an inescapable force. It is something we cannot avoid. It surrounds us completely, just like the air we breathe. But it is something we can learn to combat through critical thinking. If we just begin to understand that the images represented in the media are just illusions that are created by marketers to play on the consumer's insecurities, but by starting to evaluate, question, and deconstruct all forms of media in our lives, the influence of the media will reduce significantly.
What do you think of the media?